How do you avoid feeling overwhelmed? Let's talk about that. Feeling overwhelmed is a topic that can honestly feel really overwhelming at times. It may feel like you have no control over anything going on in your life, and that everything is going badly. Well, first things first, if you're feeling overwhelmed, the worst thing you can do is worry about how overwhelmed you are, because it will only make things worse. Now that we've covered that, the best way to avoid overwhelm is by first learning how to overcome it. Overwhelm is the easiest to deal with when you prepare for it beforehand. It can feel very hard to focus or think logically when you're feeling overwhelmed, so creating a strategy before you're in that situation is paramount. But there are some quick tricks you can use in the moment that I'll share at the end of this video. So, without further ado, let's get into the 5 steps to overcoming overwhelm. 1. Take a deep breath and tell yourself it will be okay. Like I mentioned earlier, worrying about everything all at once won't help you solve anything because it will decrease your capacity to think. By allowing yourself to calm down first, you can start working on a solution. 2. Similarly, if you need to, remove yourself from the environment you're in and go somewhere more calm, quiet, or relaxed. Get away from people, noises, or anything you feel is distracting. Go for a walk if you can, or get a breath of fresh air. 3. Now I want you to stop thinking about everything all at once. Thinking about everything is what is causing the overwhelm. Start by picking one topic or problem and focus solely on that. Forget about everything else while you think about the one thing. 4. Now that you have a clearer headspace and are focusing on less, see if you can find a solution to this problem. If it feels like there are no solutions, try breaking it down into smaller pieces. The goal is to find a piece small enough to work on. 5. Once you are comfortable with the size of the problem you are working with, think about what your next action could be towards that task. Focus only on the next step and what you think would be the best next action. If you're dealing with lots of problems all at once, you can do the same process with each problem so you have one actionable item towards each one. This is the best method I've found for dealing with overwhelm in the moment, but there are lots of different techniques. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me cover some of the others. I mentioned at the start that there are a few extra tips and tricks you can use to make this method more effective. The first one is one I mentioned in step 1. Figure out a crutch you can rely on to snap you out of an overwhelmed mindset. My tip here is to be aware that if you rely too heavily on this crutch, it may make the situation worse if you don't have access to it. That's why I recommend having an internal crutch that you can always use, like having a mantra or taking deep breaths. My next tip is to try to do small 5-minute tasks right away so they don't clutter up your life. Break down big tasks and problems into smaller ones that are more manageable to work with. This will prevent pile-up and keep you conscious of the next thing you could be doing. And my last tip is to figure out a strategy for ranking your problems that works for you. For some people, choosing the highest priority task is the most important because once they solve that one, all the others are easy. But for some, choosing a less important task to work on first helps them feel like they have a handle on the situation, so they're better prepared to take on the big tasks or problems. You can decide which strategy you are most comfortable with. I hope this video helps you avoid overwhelm, and if you have any tips or tricks you use, feel free to share them with me in the comments. I'd love to know what's worked for you. Thanks again for tuning in. If you're interested in this kind of thing, check out my channel for more videos like this, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss my next one. Till next time, see you later. Hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully this helps you. Oh no, what have I done to myself?